And at this point of the year, obviously you're not implementing new things here, but what are maybe some of those focus points that you can kind of focus on during the course of this week leading into that Muskegon game? Where, as you mentioned, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me right now, but it seems like even those losses, they've been close games.
Yeah, the series has been unbelievable. With the overtime and shootout wins, we were 5-3-2, and they were 5-4-1. And so goals for, goals against were 34-34. So we know we're going to play a strong opponent that we've had success against. And so right now it's more about, okay, we know Muskegon. Let's make sure we're locked into things that we need to do well to shut them down and to be responsible. And some of their transition game is as strong as anybody in the league. And so we need to make sure we're ready to slow them down. But at the same time, we've found habits now that have given us a lot of success against them as well. And so it's going to be a good battle of, two teams that have played 10 times this year. So there's not a lot of secrets that way, but we need to make sure we're locked in. And, Daniel Gushin is one of the best forwards in the league. And we have to make sure we're responsible for him on a regular basis.
And when you take a look at that, and you kind of mentioned you've faced them 10 times, it's obviously a little bit different than maybe years past where you don't play as many games. How do you kind of change up how you operate for the playoffs, knowing that you've played against that team as many times as you have?
Yeah, you're always going to have a decent feel for your division opponents, but I mean, 10 times against somebody is as many as we've ever played against, anybody in my 10 years in the league. So it's nice that we haven't played them now down the stretch. We've gotten away from them a little bit, so we're able to use some video from the past and kind of show, okay, let's not forget this is what it looked like the last time we played this group, and just kind of go in there with a little bit of a mentality of fresh start and making sure we're prepared, but we don't want to over prepare for this either. I mean, we want to focus on what makes Green Bay a great team.
And obviously, for many fans, they know the Horses, the Tuckers, the Lorais, the Schmaltzes, and other players like that. But when you take a look at the entirety of your roster that you'll be traveling with for the playoffs, who are some of those players on your roster right now that you feel are hitting that peak right now at the right time that maybe don't get all the headlines and things like that?
Well, going on the back end, I think Damian Cafrania has had a really strong second half and, just really grew up in this league. Up front, a couple of keys are going to be Johnny Middlestad has really come a long ways. His point production's gone up, but his whole overall game and responsibility, to give us that one more center that's a true USHL center now is, great to have. We needed him to develop like that, and he has. And then the guy that I just think that we just talked as a staff, I think Al Servagna is ready to go off. Like his chant count has been huge. He's been getting opportunities every night, and he's been just missing. And so to know he's getting that many opportunities and to know that he's ready to, score one ugly goal and then he'll probably score four more right after, that's exciting for him. And it's the guys who haven't been getting chances lately that are the ones that are squeezing their sticks. The guys who are getting them are feeling pretty good about, that they're doing things the right way.
And obviously, it seems like in hockey, more than any other sport, it seems like it's that one guy that could really come out of nowhere and make a big difference. And of course, that guy is usually the goalie. With how you've used your goalie, having their numbers are relatively similar and things like that. In hockey playoffs, you always hear about coaches right in that hot hand, the goalie that stands on their head for entire playoff runs, and that could steal a few series here and there. How do you approach your goaltending going into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, Matty Murray's Matty Davis has had a great run against them. He's 4-2 against Muskegon. He's won games in their rink, and so he's going to get that start on Friday night. We know we have a very good second goalie as well that's won games. But this is why we drafted Matt, and he was our first round pick a year ago, and he was brought in for this purpose.
And then, finally, obviously, you're going to have all three games this weekend in Muskegon. You can't look past it, but how much of a carrot is it for your team to know that if they are able to get through these three games against Muskegon, best 2 out of 3, that they will have a return appearance at the Resch Center.
Yeah, I mean that's it. It's a weird situation where that first round there is no back and forth, and then from that point forward there is. So it's the way the rules are in place this year, and so we're going over prepared to play those three so that we get the return to the Resch and play again here.